And let's grab the next piece, this guy right here, and we'll go in isolation mode on this. Same deal here, just untick isoline, and we'll take it down in one iteration. And let's just collapse it to editable poly again. And put the unwrap on, and for this, we could probably just do it in a couple pieces. Let's cut out the inside of the hole first. So I'm just going to go to edge and grab a corner edge again on one side, and we'll control click one on the other. And do a loop, and then convert it to a seam. And then we're going to need to split it down the length here, so let's just use point to point for that. Alright, so right on the seam to the other side, right click, and then we'll just go around and make sure it matched up, which it didn't. So just make sure they touch, like that. And we'll turn that off, and let's just grab edge again, and let's maybe just try cutting it off, maybe right here. So I'm just going to grab a corner edge going this way, do a loop on that. And we'll split it down the width as well. So basically what we did for other pieces. And we'll just continue on this side. And then across here. So loop that. So we'll have one piece for the top, one piece for the inside, and then this will all come off as one piece. Alright, so convert those to seams, and let's see if this works. So we'll just go to face and start on the top. Just grab a poly, expand it, we'll just use pelt here again. Okay, pull it out, and then just grab it on the side. That should select both sides and the bottom. So just pelt that as well. And then we'll just do the inside of a cylindrical map again. So cylindrical map, and then turn it off. Apply our checker pattern. And let's turn off our background, and we can probably do this fairly quickly. So let's just open up our relax tool again and crank our mounts up. Face angles again, and let's just turn on by element here and just pull our piece over. We're going to have some broken verts here again, so let's go back to vertex, turn off sync to element, just grab all the verts on that side and do a quick weld, and then we'll just start relaxing things down. So start with the inside of the hole here. That looks good. And we'll grab the next piece, which is the outside here, and just relax that. Straighten it out as well. There we go. And the last piece. Just going to hit F2 here, turn the shading off so we can see, and that looks pretty good. So we'll see if we can put some of it back together. I'm just going to rescale them quickly first, and we might be able to stitch this piece onto the bottom here. So let's just zoom in, and let's turn off by element. And I'm just going to grab a couple edges along here, maybe those 4, and we'll just right click and stitch selected, put it back on, and the inside of the hole here we can probably just stick at the other end. So let's just move it up here for now. And we'll just do a uniform scale, take it down so it's not so huge. And again, we'll just park it somewhere outside of 0 to 1. So I'll just stick it over here. Close this up, exit phase, close up the rollout. Let's turn off our map seams for a second and just take a look. Just going to take a look in here. Got a little bit of weirdness right here, so I'm just going to check that out quickly. Yeah, it definitely looks like we have a little bit of distortion here. I'm not sure really what's causing that. Just going to try to figure out what's going on here. Might just pull this out again with pelt, just to see if I can fix that. So I'm just going to repelt that piece. Just do a commit on that and just rotate it again. And just relax it down. Okay, and let's rescale. Take a quick look, and that looks like I fixed it. It might have just been a display error, I'm not sure, but that looks right now. So if you had the same problem, just re-stretch it out and then relax it down again until it looks normal, and just put the pieces back together. Okay, so let's put the turbo smooth on and just make sure that's good. So that takes care of that one. Let's change the color and just exit. And we'll move on to the next piece. So I think I'm going to do this little rod in here next. So Alt Q, and this one can just be done with a cylindrical map. So let's just put the unwrap on. I'm just going to select face, hit Control A which will select all the faces, so just hit F2 if you can't see your selection, and we'll just do a cylindrical map here. And then turn it off, and then open the editor. And we're gonna have to weld it back together again, so let's just do that quickly with vertex. So I'm just gonna drag down that second loop there. Do a quick weld. We have a broken face right there on the top corner, so let's just break that off. So right click and break, and we'll just stitch it back into this side over here where it goes. So just grab these edges here, deselect these ones, and stitch. Alright, so let's do a quick relax on it. Let's actually just put our checker pattern on. Just going to hit F2 again, and you can see they're not square, so let's just use scale here. So I'm just going to switch it to the horizontal scale in the center here, and just make it a little bit narrower until they turn out square. That looks pretty good. Okay, or you can relax it if you want to, it doesn't matter. Alright, so we'll park that over there, and that takes care of that one. Alright, again, change your color, and exit. And let's just rotate that piece a little bit so the seam's not right in the front like that. So I'm just going to rotate, I'm just going to turn it until I can't see the seam anymore. Just hide it up at the top, that looks good. So we're done with that one. Let's move on to one of these side pieces here. So back in isolation mode one more time, and we'll basically do this the exact same way. So let's drop our iterations to 1, uncheck isoline, and convert it. Check the unwrap on, and we could probably do this in 2 pieces, I think. So let's just grab edge, and we'll start right here on the corner again. I'm going to grab one there, control click one up here, and do a loop. Okay, and we'll come around to the opposite corner, control click one here and here, and do a loop. So again, we're basically just going around the entire shape, and we'll do this in 2 pieces. Alright, so convert seams, and just grab a pulley, hit F2, expand your selection, and let's just do a pelt here. That seems to be working pretty good for us, so we'll just keep using it. Same with the outside. Pelt that as well. Checker pattern, get that on there, and turn off the background. Alright, so let's open up the relax tool. And I know this is really repetitive. We're pretty much using the same process on every piece, but it's working well, so there's no real reason to do it a different way. But I'll try to speed it up a little bit because I know it must be getting pretty boring to watch over and over again. Okay, so just relax them down. I'm just going to try to straighten this one out. Looks good, and we'll rescale. And we'll just see if we can put them back together. So let's grab some edges in the center up here on this piece. Okay, just the 4 across the center, and that's the back edge there. What I might do is actually move it to the other side. Let's actually stitch it on this end instead, which I believe is the front, just so we had that seam in the back again. So we'll grab the 4 bottom ones instead. You can see it highlight right there. I'm just going to exit isolation mode for a second, make sure that is actually the front, which it is. So we'll just right click and stitch. Okay, put it on, grab it, and just do a uniform scale, maybe take it down so it's a little more manageable, and just park it somewhere again. And that's it. So let's close it up, change our color. Just gonna hit Z here, turn off the map seams again, put the turbo smooth on. And it is a little rough, as you can see, just like that piece I was talking about earlier. So if you want to, you can take it up to 2 more, so it'll have 3 in total, but I think I'm just going to leave it at 1 for now. Actually, you know what, let's put 2 on. That looks better. Okay, so we will make an exception, we'll use 3 on this piece instead of 2. Alright, so let's just copy it over to the other side. So shift drag again on the X, do a copy, and just use the align tool to align it to the other side there. Same settings as before, and okay, and then just trash the one that's not mapped, the black one. Okay, so onto the bolt here. I don't believe we put it back on this, no we didn't, so let's just put the unwrap on straight away, and we'll go to edge, and let's maybe just cut off the front face. So let's grab an edge right here, loop that, convert it, and then we'll use point to point here just to cut it down the length. So again, I'm just going to do it right on the corner like I did with the other bolts. So all the way from the front seam to the back edge, and we'll just do it on the opposite corner as well, back here, like that. And just start on the front, planar map that, and we'll use pelt on the sides again. So one half and then the other. All right, open this up, crank our mounts up. Just relax it down quickly. Let's turn on by element, grab our other piece. Relax that, and we'll do the face as well. And then rescale. And I'm going to see if I can put it back together. So let's just turn off by element, select edge, and I'm just going to zoom in on the piece here. And just grab a center edge and stitch. And we'll do the same thing down here. Stitch. Let's undo that for a sec. Just gotta grab this and move it out of the way so I can see what I'm doing a bit better. We want to go up here to the top, not the bottom. So we'll grab one up here instead and stitch. There we go. All right, just give it a quick spin, rotate it so it's kind of straight. And if you want to, you can run the relax one more time on it. It's a pretty small piece. It's not really going to matter if it's, you know, perfect. But you can do it anyway. Just make sure you use face angles for this. And that's the bolt done. So just shrink it down, stick it over here, and we'll just close up our rollout, change our color. And let's just throw the checker on to check. Okay, that's probably not too bad. Not awesome, but that's okay. It's good enough for this. So we'll just exit. And we'll make a copy. So let's just turn our edges back on with F4. One thing I might do is just rotate this a little bit just so it's not perfectly straight, like I was mentioning earlier. It'll look a little more realistic if it's just, you know, randomly bent or rotated. So just give it a quick spin and then let's copy it. So shift drag it on the X. Copy, we're gonna have to mirror it so it faces the right way, so just hit mirror. Do this on the X and just make sure you take on no clone this time. And okay. And if it's still selected, just grab the align tool and align it to the other side over here. Same settings as before. Hit OK. And we'll trash the unmapped version we had there. And we'll just select this and just rotate it a little bit differently than the other one. Okay, just so they don't match perfectly. Maybe even rotate it a little bit more. Okay, so let's do a quick save and we'll keep moving. And I think we're finally done with all the subdivided pieces, which is really good because this will go a lot faster up here. It's a lot more low res. So we'll just keep moving. Let's grab that next piece, which is the box in the center. Alt Q again, and let's just put the unwrap on here. This is pretty simple, so let's just use a different technique on it. I'm just going to go to face here and hit Control A. Let's just select all the polygons, and then we'll just open up the editor window here. And because it's so simple, we don't really need to cut seams into it, so let's just use the flatten mapping option. So I'm going to go up here to mapping, flatten mapping. And by default, this is set up to 45 degrees for the angle, so I'm just going to say OK to that. And I believe I mentioned this earlier. What it does is it just basically breaks up your UVs based on an angle. So basically at every 45 degree angle. So we have 4 chunks, 1 for each side. So all we have to do now is just stitch it back together. So let's just zoom in here. I'm going to grab an edge on that bottom chunk and stitch. Okay, let's move this out of the way so we can actually see what's going on. And we'll just keep doing that. So grab the top edge again, stitch, top edge again, and stitch. All right, so basically just puts it back together. Okay, so let's put the checker on. And by doing it this way, it'll be perfectly flat. We won't actually have any distortion, so we don't need to use relax or anything like that. But I am going to check the seam quickly. So let's just exit. And you can see it's right along the front edge there, and that's probably about the worst spot we could put it on this piece because you're going to see it. So if you do want to move it to the back, you can either rotate the piece over to hide it at the back. Another option is just by, you know, modifying what you do in here, you can actually move that seam. So I'll just show you what I mean. So just going to go back to polygon, and we obviously want to move it from the front to the back. So what I'm going to do is just grab a couple of faces here, and we'll break that off. So right click and break. So it's a separate piece again, and let's go back to edge, and I'm going to stitch it onto the top instead of the bottom this time. So select the edge up here and stitch. Okay, and now you can see by doing that we've changed the face order here, so the edges actually move from the front to the back. Okay, and obviously it'd be better to have it at the top edge than the bottom. So let's just move it one more time. So I'm just going to grab two more faces down here. So I'm getting the back face and one of the chamfers. Break it. And we'll just stitch it onto the top again. Okay, and now we've moved it from the front to the back, and now from the back bottom to the back top edge. Okay, and you can keep doing that to get it exactly where you want it. If you wanted it on the inside of the chamfer there, all you'd have to do is just break off this small chamfer face down here and stitch it onto this one up here. And there we go. Alright, so that's a good technique. Comes in handy sometimes. So we'll just call this one done. I'm going to scale it down a little bit. And we'll just stick it somewhere. And close this up. Alright, change the color again to blue. Alright, zoom around. And that one should be fine and good to go. So let's move on to the next one. So we're just going to start on this cylindrical piece right here. Again, back in isolation mode, and we'll just do this the same way we've been doing our other cylindrical pieces. So I'm going to go to edge, and we'll just cut off the caps right on the chamfer here. So grab an edge there, control click one on the back, and loop it. All right, convert those, and let's just split it maybe right down the bottom. So let's just grab any edge up here and convert that to a seam. Okay, and we have that preset one up here already, so I'm just going to turn that off. And we'll just flatten it down. So just grab the caps by your selection and do a quick planar map. Other end as well. And for the center, let's just expand that, and we'll use the cylindrical map again. So just click it on and click it off. All right, open up the editor, and we'll just quickly move stuff around. I'm going to try to stitch it back together a bit, so let's just turn on by element, move our piece over. We shouldn't have any broken verts on this one because we don't really have any resolution that runs across the surface, and it looks pretty good, so we'll just leave that. Let's open up our relax tool one more time and just switch to face angles, relax the caps down. Let's grab this piece. I'm just going to close the relax tool here, and we'll just use scale. So let's switch it to the horizontal scale, and we'll just make it a little bit more narrow so our checkers turn out square. That looks pretty good. Okay, click off, rescale, and just quickly stitch your pieces back on. So back to edge, just grab a top edge, stitch, and a bottom edge, and stitch. All right, let's just grab the whole thing and scale it down, and just move it over here. And there we go. So that one's done. All right, we are going to need one more copy of it, so let's just shift drag it, copy it, and we'll just use the align tool again. Copy it to that side. Again, same settings, X, Y, Z, center, center, and OK. All right, spin around this way and just find your unmapped version and delete it. All right, there we go. So let's do a save quickly, and we'll move up and do the sides here.